What's up and welcome back to Rumor Has It Official. Let's get straight into talking about 90 Day Fiance. This is an early premiere, part 1 of season 7, episode 2. Starting off with Tanya. So Syngin landed 10 minutes ago and Tanya is stuck in traffic. Now, by the time she got there, it ended up working out because he messaged her that he was held up in customs. Tanya gets inside of the airport and starts sprinkling rose petals all over the floor. And to me, it was a bit much. It was a bit extra, and she could have just saved that for the hotel room. Her friends express their worry and nervousness about Syngin's arrival. They add that they'll be paying attention. While they're waiting on Syngin to come out, it was hilarious when the airport janitors started to sweep up all the roses, like all the rose petals that they sprinkled all over the floor. So moving on, Syngin finally comes out, and I can't figure out if Tanya was sobbing or hysterically laughing. Either way, it was really irritating to me. They just need to throw that whole scene away. Let's move on to Michael. So Juliana has her visa interview in a week, and he's hoping she'll soon be with him in America because the process has been long. So since the process has been long, he decides to go and get some jewelry for her. He says that he's a very sentimental person, while Juliana, on the other hand, is very modest. He loves to give gifts with meaning behind it, so he's having something custom made for her. The necklace comes up to $4,000, and Michael doesn't seem to be worried about the price. So he tells the camera crew he doesn't even want to think about how much he spent on her thus far. So the producer says, "Would you say that it's over $100,000? To which Michael responds, "I don't know. I don't want to comment." While wrapping things up at the jewelry store, Juliana calls him, and Michael is telling her that he can't handle it right now. He's not in the place to do so, and saying something about using the credit cards and bank cards. And he adds that he thinks that she maxed out one of the credit cards. The jeweler was super nosy and in the background ear hustling and making comments. And if I would have caught on to that while I was on the phone, I would have told him, I'm not doing business here, because to me, it's very rude and disrespectful. If I'm on the phone, don't stand there and be all up in my business. Step aside. And then when you see that I'm off the phone, then come back over. Or either Michael really should have took the phone call outside. But that man was definitely ear hustling, and just the little slick comments that he was making, it was very immature and it wasn't professional, in my opinion. So Michael says that Juliana recently bought a car using his credit card, which was unusual and unexpected, adding that he's not sure why she bought a car when she plans to move there in a few weeks. He feels that it was an impulse buy, and he wants her to respect the value of things and working hard. Let's move on to Anna and Marcel. So they're driving back from Chicago to Nebraska, and Marcel is going to meet Anna's boys for the first time. While driving, Marcel notices that there's nothing but mountains, fields with corn, and he is not impressed, telling the camera crew that he's not excited anymore and he misses turkey. Now, it's been 24 hours and he's already ready to go back home. That's the funny thing. He then puts on some Turkish music while they're in the car and starts bouncing his shoulders around, moving around, and snapping his fingers. I thought that was hilarious. So Anna says that there's a lot of pressure on this first meeting because they're all going to be living together. Marcel wonders if Annie's children will give him positive energy. He tells the camera crew that he wants to be a brother to her older 2 sons and a father to the youngest. Like, what? Wow. So Marcel, okay, listen, take your tail back home. If you plan to be one way with 2 of the sons and another way, that is just confusing these boys. And I don't know the backstory of what happened to their dad, but this is just not a good situation. It's just not. So Marcel says that if her sons hate him, he'll be very disappointed. So when he goes in to greet her boys, they're very reserved, which, I mean, can you blame them? Anna's oldest, Joey, says he's not worried about making a good impression, and he feels that Marcel should try to create a good image for himself. While they're eating pizza, Marcel says Turkish pizza is good. And then he hands Anna's son, Gino, his plate. So they all assume that he didn't like American style pizza. I mean, wouldn't you if you don't even finish your food and you hand it back? Her oldest isn't interested in getting to know Marcel because he believes that it's all too fast. And he's right. If the mother didn't prepare these kids the way that she should have, then I understand why her kids feel the way they do. The kids do seem like they're trying despite what they express to the camera crew, but Marcel insults everything. When they try to get him to play a video game, he says no, very bad. So Anna needs to send Marcel packing, okay? Because he doesn't even seem to be interested in building a relationship with her boys. But I guess to be fair, he just arrived and it could be a lot to take in. Maybe he's still trying to adjust and that could take a while. Let's move on to Robert. So Robert is going to meet with his friend Juan that he's known for 4 years. Juan is also from the Dominican Republic. So he has some concerns about Robert choosing to bring Annie to America and get married so quickly. Juan tells the camera crew that all Dominican girls think about is dollar signs. He believes that this move is insane. Robert says that he sends her money and Annie doesn't press him for it. He's lying because the way she was blowing up his phone in episode 1 over not receiving money proves how money hungry she is and how pressed she is when she doesn't get money from him. Robert feels like Juan is out of line. We all know that's how all of the couples feel when a family member or a friend is telling the truth. He just doesn't want to see it, but she's definitely, without a doubt, using him. Juan is telling Robert not to go through with this and warns him after she gets her green card, she's going to leave him. Robert says that he feels the energy Annie gives him and doesn't feel like he's being used at all. Robert tells his friend, you live, you learn, you crash, you burn. Wow, what a dummy. Let's move on to Emily and Sasha. So Emily and Sasha are going to meet with Sasha's first ex-wife, Masha. The sole purpose of this meeting is so that Daniel, Sasha's son, can possibly come to America and stay with them. Well, maybe visit. Emily wants Masha to be able to trust her while Daniel's in her care. Emily adds that she has to be as kind as possible and fake because she doesn't want to mess anything up for Sasha. So Masha tells the camera crew once she arrives that Sasha divorced her because he met his second wife. Now that's not the story that he nor Emily gave us. She adds that he got another woman pregnant while they were married, then came to her and said, I want a divorce. So Masha wants to know why they wanted to meet with her when she sits down with them. They tell her the reason, and then she says, why not stay in Russia? And she also adds the woman should follow the man and not the other way around. So Masha feels Sasha is selfish. Emily says that she's not feeling well at one point and gets up to go outside. His ex-wife then touches his arm and says that she doesn't want him to leave. Masha feels that this is what Sasha does. He never settles down. She believes that he'll do the same thing to Emily. One thing I want to mention is Sasha never translated exactly or even close to what Emily was saying. And that's really irritating because it reminds me of Chantel and Pedro when he was translating to his mom. It wasn't what Chantel was saying. And so in this case, he did the same thing. I love the way that Emily was expressing herself, but it would have been nice if Sasha would have translated that same thing to Masha, and he wasn't. It was totally different. You could tell he was using this situation for him to get what he wants out of the situation. And I feel like when you don't translate exactly what a person is saying, then it starts unnecessary drama if not careful. Let's go back to Michael. So Michael is meeting Juliana in Rio for her K1 visa interview, and he's hoping for good news this time around because when they tried applying for the visitor's visa, he says that they were shot down. adding the people she spoke with at the U.S. consulate, they didn't give her much of a chance, and you can't appeal those, which is why it led him to get an immigration lawyer. The immigration lawyer is the one that advised them to do the K-1 visa. So when Michael lands in Brazil, he calls his ex-wife Sarah to let her know that he arrived and also to check in. He mentions that Juliana doesn't like to talk about other women. So basically, she probably doesn't like how close he still is with his ex-wife. When Michael gets to the hotel, he comments on the fact that he's never seen her look so skinny. I didn't like it. I don't think any man should comment on I don't care what size you are. No man should comment on your weight. I just feel that it's very rude and distasteful. He goes on further to say, "You're a poor Brazilian girl when I'm not here with you." And then when Juliana gives him this look, he tries to clean it up by saying, "Then you're a rich American when I am." Like, I don't like that. If you're going to do something for somebody because you love them out the kindness of your heart, let it be that. But don't throw it up or make it seem like, you're just this savior. And maybe that's what he feels he is to her. But that's why it's best to always be careful who you accept certain things from, because then you get people that throw that up like, after all I've done for you. When you get in an argument, that's the first thing they say, after all I've done for you, and that type of thing. So I don't know. I just wasn't with how he came off in this episode, and I don't think it's a good look. I really don't. So Michael says if Juliana gets denied, he doesn't know what he's gonna do. I need to hear all of your thoughts on this early premiere of 90 Day Fiance. This was part 1, and this is season 7, episode 2. Leave a comment down below letting me know all your thoughts on these couples. Give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with a friend who also loves watching 90 Day Fiance. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll be notified on the next time that I make an upload, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.